You'd never guess how much money went into burying some of culture's greatest legends ever.
Earl DMX Simmons, December 18th, 1970 to April 9th, 2021, the legend.
DMX's funeral received $300K from Def Jam, while his Uncle Ray contributed another $150K. XXXTentacion's final resting place overlooks a peaceful lake and reportedly cost his family as much as $125 grand. Now let's uncover these unforgettable burial sites. We begin with the godfather of gangster rap, Eazy-E. Eazy-E created Ruthless Records and transformed NWA into an unstoppable movement. He was the mastermind behind the operation, the man who signed the deals and placed Compton on the map before anyone else ever could. But in February 1995, he entered Cedars-Sinai in Los Angeles, believing he simply had severe asthma. The diagnosis revealed something far more devastating. Eazy-E was suffering from advanced AIDS, and his T-cells had nearly disappeared. On March 16th, he personally revealed the heartbreaking truth to the world. He urged fans to stay protected and learn from his experience, reminding everyone that the disease shows no mercy, regardless of fame or fortune. The announcement rocked the culture because almost nobody beyond his inner circle realized how serious his condition had become. Just 10 days later, on March 26, 1995, he passed away at only 30 years old. Before his death, he married Tama Woods, who was expecting their child. She later spoke about that unforgettable day inside the hospital.
We got married at the hospital because he wasn't sure if he was going to make it through.
That wedding happened fast because the doctors were not certain he had much time left. During his final days, he went through the entire list of who to trust and who to avoid, and he apologized for every wrong he believed he had done to the people closest to him. He even settled things with a couple of his old NWA brothers before the end. His funeral was held on April 7, 1995, at the First African Methodist Episcopal Church in LA. More than 3,000 people showed up. DJ Yella and Jerry Heller were there. Ice Cube and Dr. Dre did not attend the service itself, although some members of the group had visited him in the hospital. Then the money and his personality became impossible to ignore. Eazy-E was never buried in an ordinary casket. They placed him inside a golden coffin he personally requested, and instead of a formal suit, they honored his own style. He wore a flannel, jeans, and his signature Compton hat, exactly how the streets remembered him. White roses and lilacs covered the entire casket. Eazy-E rests at Rose Hills Memorial Park in Whittier, California, inside a section called Lupin Lawn. For a long time, the grave looked plain, and it even carried an embarrassing mistake. One visitor noticed the cemetery had listed the wrong birth year before workers finally corrected it. Later, they replaced the marker with something worthy of his legacy. The updated stone is black and covered with photos of him during his prime, his cars, and his massive crowds. Across the top, it reads, "The Godfather of Gangster Rap." Beneath that, it says he put Compton on the map. At the bottom, another line still hits hard. "We loved him, but God loved him more." That grave never stays empty. People constantly leave bottles, candles, and flowers across the grass. For a man who rose from the streets of Compton and eventually changed the entire industry, the visitors never truly stopped coming. His passing also changed how the hood spoke about AIDS during a time when almost nobody wanted to even mention the disease aloud. It was still 1995, and the OGs felt that loss deeply, but the industry was about to discover the same heartbreak could strike a young kid whose journey was only beginning down in Florida. XXXTentacion on June 18, 2018. X was leaving Riva Motorsports, a motorcycle dealership in Deerfield Beach, Florida. As he attempted to drive away, a dark SUV suddenly blocked his path. Two men reached into his vehicle, snatched a Louis Vuitton bag carrying nearly $50,000 in cash, then opened fire. The gunman sped away. He was rushed to the hospital, where doctors pronounced him dead. 3 men were later convicted for the murder. His death devastated his young fan base, so his family gave them one final chance to say goodbye. On June 27, 2018, an open casket memorial was held at the BB&T Center in Sunrise, Florida. Thousands waited for hours beneath the scorching sun just to pass by his body, which remained on display from noon until 6 o'clock. Phones were banned inside, while strict security kept the entire crowd moving. One fan explained exactly why they still came.
His music was powerful stuff. Impacted a lot of lives.
The family wanted the day to feel like a celebration instead of only a funeral. They believed his music gave people hope, so they wanted joyful energy filling the building even while everyone was grieving. The burial became the complete opposite of that public farewell. It was private, secure, and designed to endure. X was laid to rest inside a custom private mausoleum at Gardens of Boca Raton Memorial Park in Florida. This is where the real money becomes impossible to ignore. This was no ordinary headstone sitting in the grass. It was an entire stone structure with towering columns supporting the roof, massive iron doors featuring a swirl design, and his name carved across the top, XXXTentacion. Beneath it rests his real name, Yase Dwayne Ricardo Onfroy. A black stone bench stands outside for visitors, while framed photos of him rest against the doors. The mausoleum overlooks a peaceful lagoon, with reinforced doors and security cameras guarding it every hour. There are benches for family members and enough space for loved ones to rest beside him someday. Inside, relatives and devoted fans have left heartfelt tributes throughout the years. A private family mausoleum like this can cost anywhere from $50,000 to more than $125,000, while the lakeside location drives the price even higher. The cemetery does not always allow visitors, so fans usually cannot enter, but they still gather outside the gates to leave flowers and pay their respects. For a young artist who exploded through the internet and reached millions who believed nobody understood them, his family made sure his final resting place remained secure, protected, and peaceful. He was only 20, just as the mainstream finally started recognizing what his loyal fans already believed. His life was stolen by violence in Florida. Meanwhile, on the West Coast, another young king was creating an empire for his neighborhood, and the streets were about to lose him the very same tragic way. Nipsey Hussle. Nip was far more than just a rapper. He was an entrepreneur, a community leader, and a man who invested real money and genuine time back into his Crenshaw neighborhood in South Los Angeles. On March 31st, 2019, he was shot outside his own Marathon clothing store by someone he had known from the neighborhood. He was struck several times and did not survive. He was 33. His death shook the entire city, and his farewell reflected the impact of the man. On April 11th, 2019, a public celebration of life took place at the Staples Center in Los Angeles. More than 20,000 people filled the arena with free tickets, and the service was streamed across the world. Family, friends, and well-known stars stood to honor him, including Snoop Dogg, who struggled to hold back his emotions.
It's a real honor to be able to appear here and to show love on behalf of my friend, my brother.
Snoop Dogg described him as a great man, an inspiring leader, a devoted father, and an unforgettable teacher. Then he shared the story of how they first crossed paths when Nip was still a young artist fighting to make his voice heard.
I still remember the first time when he pushed up on me with his tape.
Snoop Dogg said most rappers handed him a tape and promised they would make him millions. Nip did the complete opposite. He asked for nothing except a chance to be heard.
Nipsey's line was, "Hey homie, listen to my music. Just give it a listen."
After the arena service, the funeral procession began, and it was absolutely enormous. His casket traveled nearly 25 miles through the neighborhoods he loved. From Crenshaw to Watts to Inglewood, tens of thousands filled the streets. The silver hearse moved forward alongside motorcycles, lowriders, and ATVs performing wheelies, while some supporters tossed money from the windows as it passed. It looked less like a funeral and more like a moving celebration for a man the entire city embraced. The Nation of Islam helped keep everything secure, while people repeated the same 3 words throughout the day: the marathon continues. Then came the part that surprised almost everyone. For a man who received one of the biggest funerals in LA rap history, his grave began incredibly simple. Nip was laid to rest at Forest Lawn Memorial Park in the Hollywood Hills, inside a garden crypt within the Court of Liberty section. For a long time, there was no large headstone or public marker. The resting place remained green, peaceful, and simple, surrounded by flowers, candles, and cigars left behind by fans. It almost felt too quiet for someone of his stature, and visitors kept saying they expected something far greater. Fans noticed it immediately. One group created their own tribute stone and placed it inside the cemetery. It features his photo, his name, his real name, and one of his personal quotes about faith. "My God will never make me or break me. I have faith." They placed it there because his family had delayed installing a public marker, fearing someone might damage it. So, Nipsey Hussle received two completely different farewells. One was loud, crowded, and streamed before millions. A citywide moment that felt like a king returning home. The other became a quiet, protected resting place where the marathon he always spoke about was meant to live on. Silent above the city in the hills. He never truly left. Nip was carried through his neighborhood like true royalty. Across the country in Brooklyn, another young drill king was about to receive that same hometown love in the most heartbreaking way imaginable. Pop Smoke on February 19, 2020, during a home invasion at a rented house in the Hollywood Hills. Pop Smoke was shot multiple times and was later pronounced dead at the hospital. He was only 20. Several people were eventually arrested and convicted in the case. His hometown of Canarsie, Brooklyn, refused to let him leave in silence. A funeral procession moved through the neighborhood, and thousands of fans, friends, and family lined the streets. His casket was not carried inside an ordinary hearse. It rested inside a white glass carriage pulled by two horses, followed by a convoy of luxury vehicles slowly moving through Brooklyn. The emotion in that crowd was pure love mixed with overwhelming grief. People shouted his name, played his music, and spoke honestly about everything he meant to the neighborhood.
Just want to say we love you, Pop Smoke. You'll never be forgotten.
Neighbors spoke about how he grew up right there and gave back to Canarsie the moment success found him. To them, he was already a legend. Someone who put their corner of Brooklyn on the map before he even reached 21. He stood on those same streets, said he would become a rapper, then gave Canarsie more than anyone ever imagined. The exact cost of the carriage, the casket, and the entire service was never revealed publicly. But a horse-drawn glass carriage followed by a line of luxury cars was never an inexpensive farewell. His family and record label handled everything without any public arguments over the expenses. Pop Smoke was laid to rest at Greenwood Cemetery in Brooklyn, a historic and scenic burial ground. Reports claimed the burial location was changed from another cemetery. Instead of a traditional grave, he was placed inside a mausoleum crypt with his name engraved across the marble. Then came the chapter his family never wanted. In September 2021, vandals attacked the crypt. They shattered the marble, broke open the front, and even attempted to pull the casket out, leaving scrape marks, broken pieces, and dirt scattered across the floor. Photos from that day clearly showed the destruction, with his name, Bashar Baraka Jackson, and the years 1999 to 2020 displayed above the damage. The heartbreaking scene drew police attention and sparked outrage among fans demanding stronger security and a more protected memorial. Many believed a rising star of his level deserved a safer resting place from the very beginning. It was heartbreaking to witness for someone whose journey had barely begun. Even after everything, Greenwood Cemetery remains a place where fans continue visiting to honor him. The vandalism proved that even famous graves can remain vulnerable, but it never changed what the neighborhood had already decided. Pop Smoke came out of Canarsie, gave everything back to it, and made one final journey through his streets behind two white horses. Pop left Brooklyn behind those horses. Up ahead, one of the rawest voices the culture had ever known was about to receive a farewell nobody would ever forget. Some legends leave behind hit records, while others leave stories that time can never erase. These graves are more than resting places. They stand as lasting reminders that true legends never fade away.